everyone, welcome to a new Pick-A-Card reading. I've got 5 stones for us for our Pick-A-Card reading today, so I'll be doing 5 of them. And we are looking at a prosperity message for you. So I'm going to keep this a little bit open-ended, but the focus or the theme is really about prosperity in any number of ways. Prosperity is more than money, but it is very much about the goodness that comes into our life as well, and it can very much come in the form of money. So you might want to tune into what abundance means to you at this time, and then tune into the reading. So our 5 stones here are rose quartz. This is the Brandberg stone. This is the Carnelian stone. I've got the pretty Angelite and Teal. So I've got the timestamps in the box, so go ahead and tune into the reading or pause the video if you want to tune into your stone a little bit longer, and I will see you in your reading. Okay, Rose Quartz group, here we are with your stone and with your deck. So of course it's shuffled, always shuffle deeply between readings. And for your prosperity message, Rose Quartz group, I am doing an augmented line of 7. I really enjoy this line because it can be really focused. So let's go ahead and deal out your cards. Okay, here is your augmented line of 7, Rose Quartz group. Look at the beautiful clover that is at the crown of the augmented line. We also have the beautiful star, which is also a wish fulfillment card. At the center of it, we have the ring. So it looks like relationships are in focus, or perhaps there's a commitment or an engagement or some kind of involvement that comes your way, and that opens up a door of prosperity for you. And I think it certainly comes through because of the ring and child here. So let's start at the beginning, which is reading the long row. The tree, clouds, and star. I think you're looking at growth here. I think it might be time for the next level up in your sense of prosperity. So you might want to make more money, or become more empowered, or become more independent. This idea of growth and step up can take any number of shapes and forms for you, for your specifics. The clouds here can bring a bit of a tension or a bit of confusion. You might not be so clear about what you need to do in order to grow to the next level. But the beautiful star is all about ambitions and thinking big, and it works really well with the tree. With the clouds even, it is quite positive because it advises you to tap into your aspirations. And with the star, it's really about your bigger goals. It's not day-to-day, small goals and targets. It's really about your bigger ambitions and aspirations. And I think it can be the time when you tap into this. Any part of it, maybe if you can't handle the whole set of ambitions that you have for yourself, start somewhere. It is definitely the right time for this. So don't postpone living up to your dreams. It is the time to start. The ring and child is lovely. It is very much about a new relationship or a new involvement. And then we have the heart and dog. So this is a beautiful friendship or a beautiful collaboration that can come through here. And this is definitely what's going to open more prosperity into your life for you at this time. So as you grow to embrace your aspirations or to embrace that next level of growth for yourself, it's going to involve other people. You need to connect with others. You need to get involved with others. And then there's going to be a relationship, a specific one, maybe that involves more than one person, that's going to put you on a path of greater prosperity. This can be a new job, it can be a new project, it can be a new customer, it can be someone who really inspires you to tap into the next level for yourself. It can take any number of different scenarios for your specifics. Now, the clover, ring, and snake is a really interesting triplet here, because the clover and ring is very beautiful for relationships, but the ring and snake would be pretty challenging for relationships. Now, because the clover is so powerful, I would say that the snake in this case is more about handling your relationships carefully, especially in the sense that this is a new beginning. You're taking new steps in this involvement or this situation that involves other people. And so with the snake here, it's really important that you are diplomatic and you are professional, I would say as well, and that you're not quick to jump the gun in any way. Be calm and calculated, be a really good observer, and you will certainly be able to tap into the benefits of this relationship. Remember, you're taking new steps, so there's no need to rush in any way. You certainly actually want to avoid that, and you want to be calm and calculated instead. You want to observe everything so you do things right and you have foresight. Now looking into the diamonds, we have the beautiful star and clover together, and then the child and the snake. I think this pretty much confirms what we just said. There is a wonderful new beginning ahead for you. Definitely take it and see what comes out of it. The snake again reminds you to take it easy, be calm, don't rush into the first steps. Have foresight and look ahead as much as possible before you move forward. But definitely a very supportive new beginning for you in your prosperity. The clouds, clover, heart, and snake. This can be a bit trickier because we have two challenging cards that show up together, and we have the snake and heart. This can mean someone who is not entirely honest about their feelings. It can be yourself who is really not 100% sure that this new beginning is right for you. And I think you could be holding back on some level. I don't think this is wrong. I don't think it's a bad idea. I think it's okay to be calm and calculated and to assess the situation well. And if you come across folks who are not 100% with you, or whom you feel are not entirely honest, well, you know what? Because of your clover at the top here, I think it's fine. I think you just want to treat this in a diplomatic and a calm way. And in all probability, it's not about personal things. It's more about the job or the project or this involvement that we're seeing here. So you don't have to take things to heart. Instead, stay diplomatic, be focused on your goals, and just remain a good observer. Finally, the tree, clover, dog, and snake. I think this is a really positive set of cards. Yes, the snake remains tricky. It's usually a tricky card, but like we're saying over and over, the role it plays in your augmented line is one of caution and care and diplomacy as you move forward. The tree and clover is a wonderful phase of growth, and the clover and dog is a beautiful combination for supportive colleagues or friends or any other kinds of people that figure for you in this situation. And with the snake, again, I really feel that the idea of being diplomatic and calm with other people is very key. Don't reveal everything about yourself. Keep yourself to yourself as you unfold into this new beginning. And the tree and snake is a pretty archetypal combination of wisdom and secrecy and knowledge. So keep some things to yourself. Make it a point to learn and to grow. Be consistent, but don't rush. Take it step by step as you move forward. And I really feel that this turns out to be a beautiful unfolding for you. So overall, Rose Quartz Group, I think this is a beautiful message of prosperity coming your way. The way that it manifests for you is in the form of a new connection or a new involvement. And this is a new involvement that takes you to the next level in your prosperity. It is definitely time to engage your ambitions and to really seek that next level for you. If you're not going to do it now, when are you going to do it? You need to start working on your ambitions and, those deep aspirations that are what you are about. It is time to at least work on some of them, and I think you will find that you are able to through a wonderful new beginning. Again, be calm and calculated, be diplomatic. Don't take other people's intentions if they are not so kind towards you. Don't take these to heart. I don't think it's important. I think it's a smaller piece of the picture, and the bigger piece is the idea that you're growing into this next level for you. So let me know how you like these ideas. Let me know your thoughts. I'm looking forward to your comments. And until we meet again, thank you so much for watching, and take very good care of yourself. All right, Brandberg Group, here we are with your deck and your beautiful stone next to us here. And for your reading, I am doing a double line of 5. Remember, we are looking at a prosperity message for you. And the idea is what is probably ahead for you in terms of prosperity. The key here is really to think about what prosperity means to you, and that is what you want to tune into. So let's go ahead and deal out your double line of 5. I've got my deck shuffled here. I think some cards are turned over. Let's go ahead. Okay, Brandberg Group, look at these really interesting cards. I'm seeing some challenges here, a bit of a complication going on this side, but then we have the road and fish as the last column in your double line. The fish is the card of money and practical affairs and assets and usually wealth. So this can be a really positive message after going through a phase of complications here, or maybe you need to figure out some things. I'm going to read the 2 lines first, and then we're going to weave different smaller combinations together. So the house, bird, mouse, bear, and road, what can that be about? Let's break it down. The house and bird can be some issues going on at home, especially with the mouse nearby. There can be some arguments, some disagreements, some tension going on the home front. And the bear here can represent any number of people in the home. It's usually associated with parents. It can also point to your partner or someone who has quite a bit of influence on your home affairs. And then we see the road on the other side of the bear. So I have to say, Brandberg group, that you could be moving, you could be leaving. You could also be making some changes on the home front that affect your wealth, your sense of prosperity. Maybe there are some expensive renovations that you need to postpone. Maybe there are some issues in the home that cause you to make changes on the home front. All of these are possible. I think with the mouse in the center here, in the context of money and prosperity, the mouse is usually associated with waste. And so I feel that if you can cut out some expenses and avoid unnecessary expenditures, probably in relation to the home, then do that. You know, with the road on the other side of the bear, maybe there are some projects that you need to drop. And like I said, more broadly, if this house or this home situation right now is a bit of a drain on you, on your sense of well-being, on your broader prosperity, then it might be time for a move. Now, what's interesting is that the house can also represent your team on the job or possibly your home-based business in the context of work and money. And if that's the case, then again, with the bird and mouse, we're seeing some issues going on here. The bear is usually associated with managers, and it can represent a manager because it sits on top of the man. And there can be some issues here with management or the leadership team or colleagues on the job that causes you to make a change. So I have to say, Brandberg Group, that this is not a light message. This can mean that you leave your job, you leave your home to pursue a more prosperous life. Are you up for that? You will need to tell me. I'm looking forward to those comments. Now let's turn to the bottom line. We have the heart, the snake, and then the book, man, and fish. So this is a curious set of cards here for this context. The heart and snake would normally be a bit tricky when it comes to feelings. This can be someone who is not particularly honest, or maybe there is a secret that is being kept. Definitely because of the snake and book here, this is a clear combination of secrets. And so maybe you are working on a plan to move and you don't really announce this thing yet. But what's curious is that the man and fish, they figure on the other side of the book. So it's possible that you meet someone who gives you an opportunity, a financial opportunity, or some kind of path that opens up for you that enhances your prosperity. So this is about a person that can come into your life to open up this door for you. And the idea of the heart and snake earlier in the line is, well, keep your thoughts to yourself, keep your feelings to yourself, because the point of this relationship is not so much personal, but it's really about opening up that door for you. I also think that the snake and book can represent knowledge. And with the heart here, it's about pursuing things that you are interested in. And with the man, it can mean someone who helps you learn maybe a set of skills or a new branch of knowledge, some information here that is relevant to your prosperity. So this can be a bit of a tricky phase where you are transitioning into a new, possibly a new area of work, a new branch of interest, and all of that affects your prosperity. So this can translate into a different job. It can translate into a different career or a different way of how you make money. And there could be some learning here that is needed for you to make that step. And I feel that this is potentially a big step. So I would say be careful, be calm, and certainly with the snake and book and the mouse on top of the book, the idea of rushing is not figuring at all in your cards. It's the opposite. It's the idea of getting into the details, learning the facts, and taking gradual steps so that you can be on your path to prosperity. Now, let's weave the columns together. There's a few more pairs and combinations that we can weave together before we bring this picture into a whole story. On the left-hand side, we have the house and heart. So this can be about your home, your family, where you'd been living, your base, as it were, for some time. But then we have the bird and snake. So I think this is where we're seeing differences coming through. And then the mouse and book is about missing some facts. It's about not knowing the whole picture. So this is a set of cards here where the issues come up. And these issues put into question your foundation, or where you'd been living so far, where you'd been working so far. I think there's going to be a revisiting of the foundations you'd built for yourself for your prosperity. The bear and man is someone of influence. This is someone who is powerful and probably supportive. And I think they do come into play to put you on this new path of prosperity. So the road is normally a card of change. So you could be making some changes here and moving into a new path. It's really, really nice to see the fish with the road on the right-hand side of your double line, because it does tell us that you're going to turn around from this situation here and move into a different path of prosperity. I think you could be looking at having to make some choices, possibly some sacrifices, so that you turn away from a situation that is not really helping you build your prosperity and make changes. I think it's going to be a little bit tricky. The transition is a bit tricky because you need to get your head around a number of things here. It's a person who comes into play. It's information that you need to gather. It's challenges that you need to overcome, people that you need to deal with, differences that arise. So any number of these or all of them can figure for you as you transition away from what had been your establishment, your foundation for a while, into a new and a different path. So while this can be really exciting, I do feel, Brandberg Group, that it's not necessarily easy. Yes, you are about to be on a path of prosperity, but there is the transition that is really taking up the focus of your double line of 5. So you really want to focus on the details, on how you're going to transition away, revising certain relationships, revising certain foundations. And I would also say it's important to acknowledge the gaps. It's important to acknowledge what hasn't worked, what did work, but also what hasn't worked, in order to come to terms with the changes that you need to make. And then, of course, make room for this person who's going to come in here with support, because this is the point at which you turn into this path of prosperity. So I would say this is a really interesting double line of 5, Brandberg Group. I'm really looking forward to your thoughts and comments about it, what you make of it. I'm really looking forward to what you're going to leave me in the comments. So make sure you do that. And until we meet again, very best of luck with this, and thank you so much for watching. Okay, Carnelian Group, here we are with your cards and your beautiful stone sitting nearby here. And for your reading, I am doing a 9 card portrait. Remember, we are focusing on a prosperity message for you. This can come in any kind of form, what's ahead for you, what you need to do, if there's a gift coming your way, any issues you need to overcome. Any of these are possible, but I think the key is that you think for yourself, what is prosperity for you? So tune into that, and then your reading will resonate better with that. So let's go ahead and do your 9 card portrait. I am going to deal out the cards for this one. Let's go ahead and do that. My deck is shuffled as always. Okay, here is your 9 card portrait, Brandberg Group. I'm seeing some very pretty cards in here. The key and star, especially on this right-hand side column, are very beautiful messages. We have a couple of tricky cards. We have the fox as your top card, and then the bird in the center here. We also have the road and mountain, which can be associated with travel. This is an interesting row. I suggest we get into the cards and weave it all together. The fox at the top of your spread is sometimes tricky, but it can actually come to your advantage when it figures in this position. The fox is smart, it is clever, it is self-interested, it knows what it wants, it is focused on its goals, and all of these come out really well when it figures on the first card of the portrait, because this position represents you and it covers you and it gives you the key advice for you. So this pretty much comes to your advantage. Another key that comes through the fox is that it's associated with 9-to-5 employment. So this can very much bring up your job and your more practical work life on a day-to-day basis. And this can be the key for you when it comes to prosperity for you over the next phase. The bird in the center is a number of possibilities. The bird is really good with negotiations, with vocalizing ideas. It is a card of communication. It can also represent a bit of tension, and it can also be associated with travel. And when I see it next to the mountain, I think it's possible that you travel for a quick trip. So it's shorter travel. We also have it next to the road. So this idea can actually come through pretty well for you. And so you might travel on business or for the job, and this can open doors for you. Now, if this isn't about travel, if this is not figuring for you, then the bird with the mountain suggests overcoming a certain obstacle, and the way to do that is through communication. So it's important that you don't cause tension, that instead you're diplomatic and calm, focused on the solution. And on the other side, we have the mountain. So this tells us that you need to overcome a blockage, and the best way to do this is by diplomatic communication. The bear, bird, and heart. This is interesting. I think this adds to what we just suggested. The bear and bird can represent a conversation that is important, that has important implications for you. But the bear can also represent a manager. And I really feel that when we look at this column here, the fox, tower, and bear, it represents a manager. The tower can represent the corporation or the organization you work for, and the bear represents management, often the CEO or, someone who's really up there. And so it seems that there needs to be an important conversation with this person. And with the heart, I think it can go really well because it is tying back into the top row, which is positive, and into this right-hand side column, which is also really positive. So I feel that you need to have a conversation with your manager or someone in authority. And I think it pays to be honest, although remember that we are also looking at diplomacy and care. I think it matters to tell this person what you care about and that you care. That is really important, and I think this can open some new doors for you. So this can be about a promotion, right? When it comes to prosperity, this can be about wanting more money or being ready for the next level of the promotion. The bear also contributes to that along with the cards we see in this column. Maybe you need to aim for the next level in your career so that you can bring in more prosperity to yourself. This is a very clear message coming through these lovely cards. Let's look at the rows. We have the fox, key, and heart. Like we suggested, this goes really well. This goes well for your job, for achieving goals. The key and heart clearly tells us that you want to pursue the things that you want. And I think with the fox and key, it does suggest that you be more resourceful, that you be more self-reliant, and that you really think up solutions for yourself. And I think you're going to find that you have lots of creative ideas that are going to help you move forward towards your prosperity in your job to the next level, and achieving the goals, very much so thanks to the key. The key is really good with coordinating efforts. So if you are a team leader or if you are working with others, then it's really important to be a good team player. Set aside some differences and focus on the bottom lines. The tower, bird, and star is also a lovely set of cards here. The bird can be a bit of an anxiety-causing card, but because of the star, I really think that the more positive aspects of the bird comes through. And this is about negotiating, debating, vocalizing ideas. With the tower here, this could be about involving management. I also think you are appreciated by management, so I think it's really important to make a good impression, be a good communicator, keep everyone in the loop, so to speak, and, just being a really good team player, keeping everyone aware, expressing, just being active, really. I'm feeling a lot of activity here that brings a lot of positive results. So keep communicating clearly with diplomacy, with consideration and care. And then we have the bear, road, and mountain, and this can be a major step forward. It can be a significant change. It can be a move. I have to say that if you are looking at travel or making a deeper change with regards to where you live or where you work, then this triplet here can bring about a significant change. The bear and mountain is often associated with someone who is based abroad. Maybe this is a person that you need to tap into who is based abroad, and it's not so much you who moves, but it's still possible that you make the move. The road and mountain can also mean a move, a traveling aspect here. Now, what's also interesting is that the mountain is often associated with obstacles. And when we see it like on the other side of the road, it's like you're traveling and you meet this obstacle. You know what I mean? Like you're moving forward and there's this blockage in front of you. And the thing about the bear is that it is a pretty powerful card. It's a bit like the mountain. It's a bit like the anchor. And I feel what needs to be done here is that you need to confront the obstacle. You need to walk up to it and confront it. And I think you're going to be up for that. The bear can also represent competition, and this can be, the thing that drives your activity and your negotiation skills and all of that. It brings out a more competitive sense in you that puts you out there, that makes you more vocal, and this can be encouraged. But they are pretty neutral cards, and because of all of the other positive cards in the portrait, I think this works out really well. We touched on this one several times, and we suggested that this can be about seeking a promotion or talking to your managers. It's definitely important to keep them in the loop. These are also neutral cards. I think they go well because of the positive influence coming from the other cards. We didn't look at this one yet. The key, bird, and road is very much about finding solutions, expressing yourself in positive ways. And again, we suggested just briefly that the bird and road can point to a trip. And with the key, this might be what is needed right now. What I'm also seeing through this combination is the idea of bringing differences onto the same page. So like we suggested, the key is a good coordination card. It's about bringing things together. And the road is about partings, it's about things being split in different directions. That's what the road is about. And so when we see these cards together in this triplet here, this is very much about bringing differences onto the same page. And I think if you are coordinating people's efforts, or you're putting in a team effort here to bring people on the same page, I think you could be really successful at that. I also think it applies to you personally, in the sense that you want to bring your different interests into a better focus, and this can help you with your job, with your work, with this next level promotion and making that impression. So a pretty active set of cards, very exciting, I think. The heart, star, and mountain is very much the line that tells us that you're in for prosperity, that you're in for success, that this is definitely coming your way. The star is an all-around wish fulfillment card. It is, next to it, there are positive cards. The mountain doesn't affect the star negatively. The heart and star is about wish fulfillment and pursuing the things that make you happy. I feel that with the mountain here, it is really about the peak of the mountain. So I think this is much more a victorious combination than a blockage combination. With the tower, the key, and the other lines that we read, I think you are going to achieve that next level up in your prosperity. So this is a very beautiful message. And what can I say, Carnelian Group? You are in for success. This is a really interesting portrait because, and a really helpful portrait, because its messages are really focused on work and career and the idea of seeking a promotion, working with managers. It is such a practical set of cards, very clear about the suggestions of things we all do on the job, those of us who have jobs or who work with others. And so I feel that it can really happen for you. There's lots of things that you can do and that I think you need to do in order to make this prosperity materialize, and I think you are definitely up for this. So for you, Carnelian Group, the next level of prosperity that comes in for you comes in through your work, your day-to-day work, your job, if that's what you have. And it's about negotiating with stakeholders, seniors, other people who influence your affairs and your financial success on the job. It has to do with you being involved and vocal, bringing differences together and performing really well in this regard. all the while keeping a sense of diplomacy, a sense of focus, and being self-interested. Be smart and resourceful, and you are going to achieve these goals. So a lovely set of cards, Carnelian group. Let me know how it plays out for you. I am really looking forward to your thoughts and your feedback. Until we meet again, thank you so much for watching, and take very good care of yourself. Okay, Angelite group, here we are with your reading. I've got the cards, the deck is shuffled, and your beautiful stone. So for your layout, I am doing a medium-sized diamond. And remember, we are focusing on a prosperity message for you. So this can be any number of things, really. It can be what's ahead for you, what you need to do, or what comes through, or maybe some obstacles that you need to overcome. But the key is that you focus on what prosperity means to you, and this way the reading will resonate much better for you. So let's go ahead and deal out your diamond cards here. Okay, Angelite group, this is an interesting set of cards. Notice that we have the fish on the right-hand side of the diamond. The fish is the card of money and prosperity, so it is really nice to see it in your cards. I'm seeing a couple of challenges, but actually I like to see the snake next to the fish because the snake is a really clever card. And when I see it with practical matters like the fish, it tells me that you are focused, that you know what you want, and that you are going to manage your affairs in a clever way. So we're going to weave these lines together. I think it makes most sense because there's a bit of everything really in here. And so we need to weave the details in order to come up with the whole picture. So let's start with the central row. We have the mountain, the snake, and the fish. Now the mountain can point to travel or a place abroad. And with the ship near it, it's possible that you need to travel for some practical or financial matters. But with the snake, it probably means that you need to find your way around an obstacle. So the best way to deal with your financial or your prosperity issue is not by a direct confrontation, but by an indirect, roundabout way in order to achieve your financial goals. And I really like that we're seeing the fish on the other side of this because it tells me that you are going to get around the obstacle and achieve your financial goal. Now, I also want to suggest, I'm picking this up, I think, from the other cards, and we'll get to them in a bit, is that it might not be the best time to lend or borrow. I'm just getting a feeling from these cards for you, Angelite group. I would say hold off on these interactions right now when it comes to money, okay? Let's just put it aside, or put this idea aside for now. We have the book, snake, and mouse. So this is a challenging combination. It's possible that things are not transparent, that someone is not being honest, that they're hiding some facts from you. So I want you to be really aware of this, and I want you to get into the details and to ask all the questions. I also think with the snake in the center of everything, it's important to hold off on financial decisions or investing yourself or making a move until you know better. Because it's very clear from this set of cards here with the mouse and the snake next to each other and the snake on the other side of the book that the information isn't there. And it's not only that we're missing facts, but it could be the wrong facts. It could be outright lies, with the snake especially. So I want you to be really careful about who you're dealing with and to be really focused on the goals. And I think really with the snake in the center of it all, I think you have that sharpness and you know that something is up. So you know that you're not going to make a move, you're not going to make a decision until you have all of the facts. Let's move on to the square cards. We have the key, garden, man, and ship. This involves a meeting with someone, a place, going somewhere, activity that picks up, and it involves this gentleman here. But I really want to throw in the snake right away because the snake is at the center of the square and it's going to tie the diagonals together. The snake is tricky, even though there is activity that is indicated by the cards. With the snake, I think it changes the picture. So the key, snake, and man, I really think this is someone you need to be careful with. You certainly need to be diplomatic with him. And you want to pull out information from him. Okay, let's just put it that way. And then the ship, snake, and garden, I think can be a turning away from a certain circumstance or being really aware that there could be some traps, that people are not what they seem to be in this environment. Keep moving forward, keep going ahead and pursuing your goals. But I really think you need to be aware that there are some tricky characters in this environment and that this is a person maybe they're smart and they have lots of information, but I still think it's important that you do your homework and that you gather all the information that you can in order to come to your own conclusion. Definitely keep things to yourself. Do not reveal your goals. Do not reveal your intentions. You need to be on top of this Angelite group. Let's move on to the sides of the diamond. We have the book, garden, and fish. This is a nice combination. It can mean that you're in for some prosperity here. I think it can come in the form of sales, the marketplace, possibly investments. And with the book here, you could be in the business of books, researching, writing, teaching, and things like that. If that's the case, then new opportunities are ahead for you in this field. But otherwise, and more likely or more generally, the book is about the unknown. So you need to do your research about this place, but you are in for new opportunities. So this is a good thing. The fish, man, and mouse. Again, this man seems smart. He does influence your prosperity and your financial affairs, but I really feel that you need to watch out for his intentions and for what he's saying. He might not intend it, but he doesn't have all the information, so maybe go for different opinions and different sources. Don't just settle on what any one person says. And then the mouse, ship, and mountain is what can point to a trip here, but because of the mouse, I would say, try to plan it, because I think it can have obstacles. It can be some place that you don't know of yet. It does T-cross this diagonal here. And so it can be a bit of a bumpy ride in order to pursue these goals, but it's good to see this set of cards here on the other side of the mountain. Mountain key and book is unlocking opportunity, unlocking potential, and maybe it is tied to a place abroad. Now, if this is not about traveling abroad, this is definitely about your direction, understanding where you're heading with this, and figuring out the details. I think that prosperity is definitely in your cards, Angelite group, but I think there's a lot of work to be done up front or before you can get to that point. There's a lot of research, there's a lot of thinking. There can be tricky situations that you need to overcome and get around. And so it's very clear to me that you can't rush any commitments. You can't rush any financial decisions. I think if you do, it can cause losses. And certainly when you're dealing with people or, any environments that are relevant to you for this, then you definitely want to be careful. Things are not what they seem to be. I think this is a key message that is coming through your cards. So be very aware that there's more to the story that you need to look into and dive into and research before you come to a conclusion about what you're going to do with your money or what opportunity you're going to take up. But I do think that it's still in your cards that you are in for some, whatever it is, better income, a good investment, an opportunity that opens up. It's just that to get to it, you need to navigate a few things. And I would definitely advise you, Angelite group, not to rush this initial work that you need to put in before you move forward. There can be traps, there can be dishonesty, there can be people with not so good intentions. So I think you're going to figure all of this out. I think you're aware of all of this, but it's just about checking everything, and double checking and not taking anyone's word as gospel. So this is very important. So keep focusing on your goals, keep pursuing your financial goals and ambitions and independence, but be aware that this is a bit of a roundabout phase until you get there, and do everything you need to do in order to overcome these unknowns or these tricky speed bumps here. So let me know how you like these ideas. Leave me your thoughts and comments. Very best of luck with it. And until we meet again, thank you so much for watching and take very good care of yourself. Okay, Teal group, here we are with your reading and your lovely stone here that actually blends with my table cover here. It's actually one of my favorite colors, teal. Let's go ahead and do your reading. I am looking at an hourglass for you, and recall that we're looking at a message of prosperity coming your way. This can be what's ahead for you, what you need to do, or some challenges you need to overcome. But again, like I've said throughout this Pick-A-Card reading, what is key is that you focus on what prosperity means to you, and this way you will resonate much better with the reading. So let's go ahead and deal out your hourglass. My deck is always shuffled. I always like to do a messy pile, so sometimes the cards are turned over. Let's go ahead. Okay, lovely cards, Teal group, lovely cards. We have the fish figuring right in the central row. We have a beautiful clover and we have a beautiful child, as well as the key here. I think because of the dog and fox, we could be looking at a new job, and the moon in the center of it all has to do with an offer. The moon is the card of honors, offers, invitations, and with the fish here, this can be a new job or an invitation to be involved in a project. The mountain on the other side of the moon suggests a place abroad. That is possible, that it involves traveling, or it involves another place, or it could be that you stay where you are and maybe that you work remotely. I mean, I take the mountain to refer to that remote thing because it is connected with borders and the idea of a foreign location. So it's very clear from the central line that you're in for an offer that enhances your prosperity. Maybe the mountain can present some obstacles. Possibly the clouds supports that. But honestly, I'm not seeing it. I'm seeing that it's more about communication with someone abroad and that it actually materializes. Let's look at the other lines. We have the key, clouds, clover, and dog. I think that with the key and clouds, there could be some brainstorming here. There could be some negotiation, some things to figure out, possibly some priorities in relation to this opportunity. But really with the clover and dog, it works out really well. So you could be going into a new opportunity here. The dog can represent someone junior. Maybe this is something that you are starting out in. Maybe you don't have much experience in it. And maybe that's what's causing you some tension, but it's still really good and I think you're going to take it. The dog can also represent colleagues or someone else, someone who is supportive, a friend who supports you with this opportunity. In any way you interpret the cards, I think there is a beautiful overcoming of any tension that could be represented by the clouds and the idea of finding solutions into this opportunity. I would also say be open to someone's help and support. So if you have questions or you're not clear about things, don't keep them inside your head. Vocalize them and ask this person who could be really helpful. You would definitely be encouraged to do so in view of these cards. The Tower, Child, Letter, and Fox. I really think this is a new job. The Fox in work and money is associated with employment, the 9-to-5 type of employment. And the Tower can be associated with organizations, corporations, and companies. And when we see the Child and Letter with the Fox, well, it points to an offer. So I really feel that a job offer is possible here. And it also ties in with the idea of the moon here, the idea of an offer, and certainly the central mini portrait we're going to get to in a bit is very telling in terms of this new opportunity that comes your way. So I really feel that the message is clear for you, Teal group. There's a new job, there's a new project, a new involvement, job-wise, work-wise, career-wise, that opens up prosperity for you. Let's turn to the columns. We have the Key and Tower. This is a beautiful combination on a number of levels. The Key and Tower on a day-to-day sort of practical, tangible way has to do with an opportunity that comes through this company that we suggested is represented by the Tower. But what's also interesting is that the Key and Tower are two of the spiritual cards in the Lenormand deck. The idea that there is like guidance that is driving your life, that there is a mysterious power that is looking over your affairs. And we're seeing them together. And so I really feel that you could be guided, towards an opportunity here, or that you are being directed in in this new opportunity. And it is the idea that your path is taken care of. So it's a beautiful message of reassurance. The Clouds and Child, definitely a new beginning. Maybe there's a bit of tension or nervousness around this because of the clouds. Maybe you are anxious about taking this new step. Maybe it has to do with the idea that this is not something that you have much experience in, and so it's making you nervous. But, it works out really well. The Clover and Letter is about a wonderful new beginning, a wonderful opportunity, very good news that answers a wish. And then finally here on the right-hand side, the Dog and Fox, which tells me that you get the job. You do get the job. So a beautiful set of cards here. Let's wrap up with the mini portraits. We have the Key, Fish, and Child. Very obvious what this is telling us: a new opportunity, a new financial opportunity. The financial element is strong. The Tower, Fish, and Clouds is a bit different in the sense this can mean a bit of negotiation here that you could be setting yourself up for. Maybe you should negotiate a little bit, and this ties into this line here. So the Clouds, Moon, and Letter. Maybe you're thinking about some details around this offer. Certainly, if you have question marks, you should absolutely ask them. It is very important to do that, and you will find that you get support, like we suggested here in the top line. And then the Child, Moon, and Clover confirms this new beginning, confirms this offer. The Letter, Mountain, and Dog. This can be this person you're in touch with who is abroad. So maybe this work or this opportunity involves people in a different location, or maybe it's online. And so communication is key. And look, it ties into this series of diagonals here that if you have question marks or you need clarifications around this opportunity or this offer, you should definitely ask this person and you will get answers, but don't keep them in your head. And then the Clover, Mountain, and Fox suggest the job. So this has to do possibly also with colleagues you have abroad. It is possible that you move abroad or to a different location, not necessarily a different country. It can be a different city or a different place in a broader sense. And we see that it works out for you. So really, these are some beautiful cards that are very clear about the fact that for you, Teal Group, the next prosperity source or the next message that concerns your prosperity is about work. So through work, you have an enhanced income or a new source of income or some positive things going on around your prosperity and how it affects your life through the job and through work. So be ready for this new beginning, embrace this opportunity, and move forward. This is a wonderful message again. I hope you see it in this way as well. Leave me your thoughts and comments. I'm really looking forward to them. And until we meet again, very best of luck and take very good care of yourself.